Scout 2 to Scout 3, do you copy? I'm getting Imperial comm chatter. You picking this up?
That's odd. This system is supposed to be empty.
I wonder what they're doing out here. Something's not right.
I think we should go in and have a closer look. Let's take some scans.
Roger. We get in, we get out.
Agreed. Plotting a jump in 3, 2, 1.
Star Destroyers! It's the whole blasted fleet! Your recorder's running?
Yep, I'm on it. What's the Empire doing out here?
What's that?
A space station?
It's too big to be a space station.
Watch your tail! Fighters coming in!
Redirect engine power to shield!
Switch your deflectors on. Evasive pattern now! Oh no. R4! Transmit those scans to Yavin! Do it now! Mon Mothma needs to know about this. Do we have confirmation? Did Yavin receive? There's too many ships! Can't plot the jump! What are we gonna do?
The Zhangjiajie National Forest Park is a unique place located in Zhangjiajie City in the northern Hunan Province, the People's Republic of China. It is the oldest protected area in the country since 1982. No one knows how long it would have taken the Zhangjiajie National Forest Park to reveal its beauty to the world, but for the James Cameron's Avatar. The action takes place on the imaginary planet of Pandora. Though the filming was not carried out in China, it is widely thought that the Zhangjiajie Park was the place where the famous filmmaker was inspired to create such a movie. The park itself is not actually Pandora with its flying rocks, lianas, waterfalls, and even dragons. But if one mentally turns the whole picture upside down, the similarity will be obvious. The Zhangjiajie Park is a part of Wulingyuan Scenic and Historic Interest Area. It is declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO, and the Zhangjiajie Park itself was listed as a UNESCO Global Geopark. The distances are impressive. Sometimes there can be no connection between the parts of the park. Probably the most famous site of Zhangjiajie is the mountains, located in the northwest part of the park. The most magnificent views are available from the points bearing very poetic names, such as Five Beauties Are Departing for a Trip, The Bridge Between the Earth and the Sky, and the Charming Scene. The locals believe that this mountain is somehow connected to heavens and possesses a supernatural power. In the 20th century, a huge amount of water came down 4 times in a 1,500 meters high waterfall for some inexplicable reason. The water was falling for 15 minutes, then the stream suddenly ceased. The Bay Long Elevator, which also has poetic name 100 Dragons Skylift, was opened to the public in 2002. At the height of 326 meters, it is the world's tallest lift. There are also rumors that some priceless treasures are kept inside the mountain. No one has ever found them, but instead another indisputable treasure was discovered. A huge cave called the Heaven's Gate. Being 131.5 meters tall, 57 meters wide, and 60 meters long, it is one of the largest caves in the world. Altai is a truly magical place in Russia. Its nature has almost stayed untouched by the impact of the human and is absolutely amazing with its diversity and clear colors. In the Intermountain Basin between the North Chuya mountain range and the Chuya River, there is an exceptionally picturesque area named Yushtekel, with 2 lakes of the glacier origin. At the foot of the Kupol Trёх Озёр mountain, there is the Aktru River flowing between the surrounding snowy mountains. In comparison to many other Altai places, this area is easily accessible, and it makes this valley a rather popular tourist destination. The Karasu waterfall is one of the landmarks of the Chulishman Valley. The Katuyarik Pass can be seen on the mountain at the height of 1,000 meters. The way from the pass down the Serpentine is very steep. The vertical drop is 900 meters. In Akurum Natural Area, there are peculiar stone pillars that have resulted from the erosion and weathering of the ground. Some of the mushrooms are around 7 meters tall. Here is the Sailyugamsky National Park, on the borders of the Altai Republic, Russia and Mongolia. When visiting the Sailyugamsky National Park, you get a unique ability to observe wild animals in their natural life environment. some absolutely unearthly Martian landscapes had found themselves close to the Chuya Highway, Chuyski Tract. The Kizil-Chin River, with its length of around 20 kilometers, flows here, and its valley has the flat, colorful mountains laying in layers.
You are now standing 3,000 feet above sea level, atop Amelriggen Mountain on the island of Svalbard, and just 817 miles from the North Pole, off the north coast of Norway. In this archipelago of the Arctic Ocean, the temperature is 15 degrees below zero. Take a look around as you are about to experience one of the most awesome natural phenomena as the moon passes between the Earth and the Sun, causing a total solar eclipse. Light falls suddenly, and the temperature drops even further to a biting cold. In these harsh environments, only the white surface of ice and snow reflects what little light can be glimpsed as the sun disappears for a few minutes behind the moon. As the moon begins to cover the sun completely, the sun's corona becomes visible, making this event even more spectacular. For the corona is an aura of plasma surrounding the sun that extends 5 million miles into space and is only visible during these incredible events. Day gradually but quickly turns into night in this land of the polar bears. For approximately 1 minute before and after this historic event, as you turn and look in all 360 degrees around you, you witness shadowy, dancing bands of color, refracted from the thin solar crescent through the Earth's atmosphere. Finally, as the eclipse comes to an end, as fast as it disappeared, the daylight returns for both the humans and the many concerned species of animals found here in the cold north.
As long as people have been going into these woods, there have been stories about the Millhaven Dragon. How's that song go again? They come from the north, right? Way up there in the mountains where few people have ever been. But sometimes the dragon gets lost from its family and winds up very, very far from home. They say it lives in these very woods, that you can hear its roar at night. Not one soul has ever actually seen this dragon. But I know someone who would tell you otherwise. There's one little boy who could tell you the whole story. He could even tell you what happens next. He knows that there's magic in the woods, if you know where to look for it. He knows his dragon is still out there. And maybe, if you're lucky, that same boy, the bravest boy I've ever met, he could tell you where to find him.
Good evening, London. Allow me first to apologize for this emergency channel. I do, like many of you, appreciate the comforts of the everyday routine, the security of the familiar, the tranquility of repetition. Bloody hell. I enjoy them as much as any bloke. But in the spirit of commemoration, whereby those important events of the past, usually associated with someone's death or the end of some awful bloody struggle, are celebrated with a nice holiday, I thought we could mark this November the 5th, a day that is sadly no longer remembered, by taking some time out of our daily lives to sit down and have a little chat. There are, of course, those who do not want us to speak.
Just let me think.
I suspect even now, orders are being shouted into telephones, and men with guns will soon be on their way.
It's Chancellor Sutler.
Damn it! Why? Because while the truncheon may be used in lieu of conversation, words will always retain their power. Words offer the means to meaning, and for those who will listen, the enunciation of truth. And the truth is, there is something terribly wrong with this country, isn't there?
You designed it, sir. You wanted it foolproof. You told me every television in London.
Cruelty and injustice, intolerance and oppression. And where once you had the freedom to object, to think and speak as you saw fit, you now have censors and systems of surveillance coercing your conformity and soliciting your submission.
We need cameras.
How did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those who are more responsible than others, and they will be held accountable. But again, truth be told, if you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror. I know why you did it. I know you were afraid. Who wouldn't be? War, terror, disease. There were a myriad of problems which conspired to corrupt your reason and rob you of your common sense. Fear got the best of you, and in your panic you turned to the now High Chancellor Adam Sutler. He promised you order, he promised you peace, and all he demanded in return was your silent, obedient consent.
Inspector, you're almost through.
Last night, I sought to end that silence. Last night, I destroyed the Old Bailey to remind this country of what it has forgotten. More than 400 years ago, a great citizen wished to embed the 5th of November forever in our memory. His hope was to remind the world that fairness, justice, and freedom are more than words. They are perspectives. So if you've seen nothing, if the crimes of this government remain unknown to you, then I would suggest that you allow the 5th of November to pass unmarked. But if you see what I see, if you feel as I feel, and if you would seek as I seek, then I ask you to stand beside me 1 year from tonight, outside the gates of Parliament. And together we shall give them a 5th of November that shall never, ever be forgotten.